watching us. We ain't that popular yet.
Hey, I'm just telling you. Hey, listen. Hold up. I went live on YouTube just to test it out. 2 people joined, without even having to be prompted to join this mug. So
that's what's up.
Hey, is this camera angle cool? Or you want me to flip it?
Nah, you good.
Nah, yeah, you good.
Okay.
Yeah, you good.
All
right. Hold on 1 second. Let me go back and check and see if we live on both of them.
Yeah, would you
be online on both?
Cool.
Would you be cool with flipping it?
Yeah, I can flip it.
Loso, this ain't your show, man. We said we were cool with the vertical, man.
Aesthetically, though, I think it'll look better.
Man.
So you want to turn it sideways?
He a perfectionist, man.
Hey, you let Loso on the show 4 times, he started calling shots.
Loso think he a model. Look at his Instagram.
Right,
he think he a model.
Right. Loso got 4 ring lights on him right now. 4 of them.
That's funny.
Yo. There you go. Yeah, get the soft light. Get your
lighting right. Put on your Snapchat filter. I know you got one.
Hilarious. All right, so as you can see, if you can see us right now, we are live. And I'd like to welcome you to the podcast that hopefully is not in its last days nor its last hours.
Yeah.
You tuned into another episode of It's a Black and White Thing. I'm your host, A1. Please remember you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice and searching for Brains and Bars. If that's iTunes, please give us 5 stars, comment, rate, and subscribe. If it is any other podcast app, just follow us there for all episodes of It's a Black and White Thing. Please remember, go to YouTube as well. We're live on YouTube right now. And subscribe to Brains and Bars and hit that notification bell ding to get all the latest content from the show. Also, social media, that's right. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Brains and Bars. Follow us on all those platforms. As I said, my name is A1. You can call me Carlos. You can call me Dan. I'm just 1/3 of the dynamic trio. I do not do this podcast by myself. And as you can see, I got a couple of folks around with me. So we're going to start with the homie A-Ward. How you doing this evening, sir?
What's up, everybody? It's root beer. It say root on it. It say root, I promise. So, it's root beer. But, yo, it's good to be here, man. IamAward.com. Please hit the website. Click the social media hyperlinks if you don't already follow me. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, all that good stuff. It's been a fun day. My dog and my cat now get along, so that's a huge success in the life of A-Ward. They touch noses, and from what I understand, it's good. Everything is good now. But no, it's been a good week, man. Glad to be on. Glad to have our guest. Once again, glad to be joined by 26% of the horsemen. The 4 horsemen, and I guess 21% of the 5. Since he always got to have a little extra. It's good to have Loso on. What's up, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I'm blessed, bro. Excited to be here. I'm excited for this episode. One of my good friends in the battle rap coach is joining us today, man. P-Dot in the building.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to be here with y'all fellas, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you joining us. And if you are new to the show, first of all, thank you for watching or listening. And we start off every show by going through what I learned this week. And I actually have nothing. I've learned nothing this week. I'm a hardworking man, and that's been my life this week. So with that being said, I'm going to flip it over to, I'm going to start with Loso. Loso, is there anything you're looking forward to this week?
This week, I will go ahead and say, obviously, I'm looking forward to the Ultimate Madness. What's this, round 2?
Yeah, quarterfinals.
I'm looking forward to the quarterfinals. I'm looking to announcements, some known announcements, and in the world of sports, I'm trying to see what's going to happen with the NBA because I see Kyrie saying we shouldn't play now because of all the racial tension in the country. Carmelo saying we shouldn't play, and obviously whatever Carmelo Anthony says, I feel like it's just word is bond. But so we got to see if the players are even going to play. But I'm excited for that.
All right, cool. Ward, what are you looking forward to this week?
Man, I was looking forward to last night, the MLB draft. Believe it or not, I watched the MLB draft. One of the highest selected draft picks in the University of Tennessee history, number 11, Our pitcher went. We had, I'm Tennessee everything, man. So I follow it all. Like if we had a skydiving team, I probably would watch them jump out of planes or whatever. But no, I enjoyed that, man. Other than that, like with Loso, I'm ready for this second round of this tournament, man. I'm ready to watch. You know what's really kind of irritating? That I'm enjoying the tournament, but the way that the rounds are set up, I'm only enjoying like one battle a weekend. Like I'm not seeing I'm looking forward to like one battle, and then it's kind of like, I can do without all that. But that's kind of what I'm looking forward to this week. Outside of that, the weather here is hot, bro. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna try and play a little ball, do a little jogging, try to get my exercise on this week, man. It's supposed to be hot all week.
Man. All right, cool. So hit us up. Let us know. Go to @Brains and Bars, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Let us know what you're looking forward to. So I don't want to prolong the time. Like I want to get straight into this. So obviously, if you are a battle rap fan, you have heard that this week, I'm going to call it what will be considered in time a historic battle. It is an instant classic. B-Dot versus The Saga went down this past weekend, dropped Monday on the URL TV app. Incredible battle. But in this battle, right, some information comes out that B-Dot, he not only is a top tier battle rapper, but at one point he was a top tier football player in the state of California, played at a D1 level. That is, I know there have been some jokes about, he clowned me for being like a great, you know what I'm saying? You in the field, you in the field. Like, why can't I be both, right? So,
right.
So we wanted to have him on. As soon as I saw that third, I hit the fellas up like, is it possible we can get B-Dot on? Yes, to talk about the battle. Yes, to talk music, but I want to talk sports. I want to talk football with B-Dot. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to you, bro. And I just want to start by asking you this. Like, when did you know that you were really good at football?
Man, from an early age, man. Everything you see about me presently is I'm a byproduct of my father, who was a football star as well, and then turned to music. He played at Arizona State in his day, back in the 80s. And he had a knee injury. And then after a knee injury, he started to pursue radio and producing. And after that, he started working with Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, all these people. And then I just grew up.
Where's my pen at? We ain't battled yet. Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
Nah.
But yeah, so I grew up a football baby and a music baby. So it kind of went hand in hand. So I knew I was really good at football early on. My pops pushed me to play, so my first year of football, I think I was 8 years old. And then, and he made me play up, which means like I played in the age bracket a little higher than I should have because he wanted me to be tough. So when I was 8, I was playing with 11-year-olds. When I was 9, I was playing with 12-year-olds. And then after like 2 years, I finally played with my age group, man. And then I was already like advanced at that point, so I would say like around the age of like 10, man, is when I really started like balling on the field for real.
That's what's up. And your position was running back.
Yeah, well, as a Pop Warner kid, you all over the place, quarterback, running back. You ain't really locked into your true skill set yet. But my true position, throughout my life after Pop Warner was running back. Yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Pop Warner is the worst because I went and played Pop Warner, and I was in my head a quarterback, and the coach was like, the coach put me at guard. Because we all at the same time. I'm like, I literally quit. It's the only time I ever quit a sport, but I came back and played football again. But I remember the coach was like, nah, you're going to line up here at guard. I was like, oh, no, this ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah, my first year, that's how it be. And then out here, we call them, they call you a 4. In Pop Warner, when you're not good, they call you a 4-down player because by rules, you have to play each player at least 4 downs. Mm-hmm. So when I was 8 years old, bro, I was a nose tackle 4-down player, dog. That was it. So I feel you.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So let's jump into high school, right?
Yeah.
So in high school, I guess I'll let you talk about your high school career and just like some of the accolades or accomplishments. Because listen, getting to a D1 level, regardless of whether you're playing for USC, Washington State, Texas Tech, whatever it is, like that's a level that not too many people can say that they've reached. So just how good were you in high school?
Yeah, so coming into high school, my when I was in 8th grade going into high school, my freshman year, I received a scholarship. Well, in high school it's tricky. Like it's not an actual scholarship, but somebody in the alumni, some old rich white dude in the alumni is like paying for you to go to school, so to speak. So my freshman year, I received a scholarship to go to this school called Crespi, this private school called Crespi. I played there 1 year. My freshman year, I played varsity, so I was already like playing VAR and balling out. But I didn't like the school, it just wasn't for me. I'm still from a certain type of environment, so that was like it kind of shook me up, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really ready to be around just school. It was only like 3 black kids, it just wasn't for me. So I left that school and then we relocated to a different city. And then I ended up going to high school out in Valencia. And then, just right away, my sophomore year, just start balling, man, playing VAR again. And the year before me, we had a big time running back by the name of Emmanuel White. He ended up going to UCLA. He played for the Washington Redskins. So I had to fill his shoes. So my sophomore year was the year after he graduated. Okay, it's over there, baby. My sophomore year was the year after he graduated. So it was a lot of weight on my shoulders. So my sophomore year, I balled out. We went to the semifinals, I believe. We lost. And then my junior year, balled out again. And we ended up going to the championship my junior year. We played a big time school out here called Hart High School. I don't know if you heard of it, but like big time ranked high school that we're rivals with. So my junior year, we played them in the championship. Unfortunately, we lost. And then my senior year, we probably made it to my senior year, we weren't that good. We lost a lot of key players from my junior year. But each year I was balling out, man. I believe I probably averaged like 2,000 yards per season. Anywhere between like 25 tubs to like 30. I was a scat back, but I was like an all-around player. They'd put me at slot sometimes. Just stuff like that, man. I was a little scat back. I would liken my running style to like a Reggie Bush, just shifty dude, in and out, you know what I mean? That kind of player. So yeah, I mean, my high school career was pretty dope. I was ranked. I don't know what happened. Am I still there?
Oh yeah, you still. Yeah.
It went out for a second. I was ranked in California. I think I was like 7 in California maybe. And then I was like, I forgot what I was in the nation, but I was ranked, I was doing my thing, man. Football was obviously a family thing. And just in my neighborhood in Pacoima, coming up from Pacoima, like everybody, you either gang banging or playing sports or sometimes both, you know what I'm saying? So we're a big time sports city. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Brandon Browner. Unfortunately, he's in prison right now, but he played for the Patriots and Seahawks. That's my boy. Like that's like my boy from the Sandbox. We grew up in Pacoima together, and we went to Oregon State together. So yeah, we got some big time players and people from my area, man. Charles White, he won the Heisman Trophy like in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Went to USC. So I'm just from a city that produces athletes, and it's just like a culture where I'm from. We just play football and track and basketball, all three.
Now I read that you ran a 4.5. I'm guessing it was what? It was like a 4.45.
No,
I feel like you're always a little faster than what Rivals, what Rivals.com lists.
No, sometimes Rival give people too much. I ran a low 4.5 in high school. Yep, I ran like a 4.52 or something, 4.53. It was a low 4.5, and then in college I got it down to a low 4.4. Nice. So yeah, man. I wasn't. See, the thing about me, I had like that deceptive speed. Like in track, I was pretty decent. Like I think my fastest time in 100 in track was like a 10.8, 10.9, while like premier track stars my age was running like 10.5s.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like in 100 meters and 200, I'll probably place like 3rd, 4th. I wasn't like a super speedy guy. I was just really shifty on the field, and I had like deceptive speed. So yeah, I probably ran they probably had it right, a low 4.5.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So in high school, and they can be known, they can be super big names, or they could just be guys who are local legends. Like, who were the 3 best players you faced in high school?
Matt Moore. Matt Moore. I think Matt Moore is still in the league. I think he played last season. Matt Moore, the quarterback.
Yeah.
I forgot who
he played with the Dolphins. He plays. Oh, he's on the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the Chiefs last year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Matty Moore, that was my rival in high school. He went to Hart High School, which is the local rival to Valencia High School. I would say him. I played against. Let's see who else. That's like known. I don't know if you guys remember Lorenzo Booker.
Went to Florida State.
Yep.
Yeah, went to Florida State. Lorenzo Booker and Steve Smith, who's actually a childhood friend of mine. Steve Smith. He played for the New York Giants. Went to SC. Yeah. Yep. So I would say those three guys was probably like my toughest opponents that I remember playing in high school. Off the top of my head, I mean, it was a lot of them, but off the top of my head, I'd say those guys.
Dope. So you get an offer. How many was Oregon State the highest school, like from a D1 standpoint, that reached out to you to bring you on?
Oh no, man. I mean, at least not to me. I got a scholarship offer from pretty much I would say everybody in the Pac. It was the Pac-10 at that time. It's the Pac-12 now, but I think the only schools that didn't offer me in the Pac-10 was UCLA, and it was somebody else. It was maybe two or three. It was the 2 or 3 schools in the Pac-10 that didn't offer me. I didn't have like the best academic standing. You know what I mean? I had what you needed to like get to college. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I passed my SATs and I had like a, I don't know, 2.5, something like that. So those harder academic schools weren't really filling me, like UCLA and all that. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much had offers from the whole Pac-10, I would say. I had some offers that stretched as far as like, trying to see, man. Not that far, man. Not that far out of the coast. Maybe like Nevada. Mm-hmm. And then and then you would get like a couple like D1 AAs and D2s that would offer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as the West, I was primarily like a West Coast recruit for the most part. And so yeah, I got offers from majority, I would say like 60% of the Pac-10, I would say.
All right, cool. I got one more kind of quick question. I'm gonna jump to the guys for a bit. So you go to Oregon State. Like, what was your welcome to big time college football moment, you would say?
Oh man, so I guess I should start over and tell you why I ended up at Oregon State. So unfortunately, when I was in high school, I was still like involved like in the gang culture and all that. So I got into a big fight on campus. And it got blown out of proportion. It was on the front page of the LA Times and all this stuff. And so I ended up losing my scholarship to most of the Pac-10 schools. And I was going to go to SC. I pretty much committed verbally to SC, even though I wasn't going to play running back there because they had so much talent that year. They offered me, at that time, it was me, Reggie Bush, Lindell White, and Chauncey Washington. So they already had like backs for days. So I knew I wasn't really gonna like shine at running back there per se. So I was gonna play corner and I was cool with it. So I committed verbally there. But after my fight, they blew it out of proportion. It was in the LA Times. Coach Ed Orgeron, who's the coach at where's he at now?
Yeah, go Tigers.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, I remember it like yesterday, man.
Hey, you and Charles Burnley.
Yeah, that's him, bro. That's him, dog, to the T. I remember like yesterday, man, because he was at SC at the time, and he gave me a call. He was like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna have to pull your scholarship," you know, because I was in that fight, and they were like, "Man, we got too many backs, man, and you know, we were really trying to get you over here, but that fight kind of." So anywho, I ended up going to Oregon State because my father had a friend that coached up there, the receivers coach, Eric Yarber. He coached there, so I ended up committing to Oregon State. And then as soon as I committed, 7 days later, Coach Dennis Erickson, who was the head coach at the time, 7 days later, Coach Erickson, Coach Erickson got an offer from the San Francisco 49ers. So they shook out on me. They went to the 49ers. So I ended up signing to Oregon State, but they brought in a whole new coaching staff that they weren't too big on me. I mean, they knew I was good, but you know, they weren't in love with me, you know?
You're not their guy. Everybody talks about it like if they didn't recruit you, you know what I mean? Like you get treated a certain way.
Right. I'm not there. Exactly. So to answer your question, to do that long-winded answer. My point is, when I got there, they kind of sized me up, and immediately, like my first day on the field, because I never was a big guy. I was always like a quick scat back. So only a couple schools were going to still let me play tail. So when I first got there, my big college, I'm not that guy anymore moment was when like a couple coaches literally walked up to me, and they literally just we were in line stretching. They walked up to me and they looked me up and down, bro. Like I was, on the auction block, so to speak. They looked me up and down, and they were just like, "Nah, you're not a running back," and they just walked away. I was like, bruh. Yeah, I'm like, bruh. I called my pops right away. I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work, man. They just played me. So yeah, I would say that was my biggest, like, damn, this is Division I college football. Everybody could ball. I'm nobody to them. I got to start all over, kind of feeling,
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy. So I want to use that to transition to a tweet from dear brother Loso, who I think it was a clip of Reggie Bush.
Yes.
And Loso said if he was in the SEC, though, you cut his stats in half.
Bruh.
So first, Loso, I want you to defend, like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking when you put that up there?
He was thinking he wanted a lot of reactions and a lot of engagement. That's what he was thinking.
I got it. I fell right for the trap. Nah. Obviously, I don't mean cut in half. I don't mean 50%. But not talking about this, but I don't think that Reggie Bush would have been as dominant in the SEC as he was, obviously, at USC. This is just my opinion. Obviously, I'm an SEC guy. Ward, I'm pretty sure you agree.
Listen, there are players that have reached like this GOAT status, right? To where I would never even say that about them in another conference. You know what I mean? Like if you was to come to me and say Lindell White wouldn't have been what he was at USC and the SEC, I might go as far as saying, you know what? Yeah, right. In the trenches, the SEC, the D-line, the O-line is different. Right, he's not dragging people 5-6 yards. But Reggie Bush is Reggie Bush. So I will never say he's not going to be Reggie Bush somewhere else.
Reggie Bush is Reggie Bush. But when you say when you make the statement, Reggie Bush is the greatest college football player of all time.
I'm standing on that.
But he is top 5 to me. I say he's top 5 to me, but
it's either him, Peter Warrick, or Barry Sanders. But I'm saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased because I stood in front of it and I seen it and I played against him for 2 years. I don't know, but bro, I'm just saying, man, that dude was a special raw talent that only comes once in a generation or 2 generations, bro. Like that dude was different, man.
Now, were you shocked that it didn't transition in the NFL?
I really was. I still don't understand. I still don't get it. And I think it might have been like a system thing. It always boils down to like when you're that type of player, like a what's my dude? Tavon Austin, Tyreek Hill. When you're that type of guy, you got to play in the right system. Luckily for Tyreek, he's in a wonderful system. But you see what happened with Tavon Austin, who I would say is another like top 10, top 15 college player.
College highlight tape.
Ridiculous. Unreal, bro. Unreal. I know, baby. You can't get it.
Shout out to the comments section. Andrew Holland had some props for B-Dot. Said you'll be knocking it out the park this year, so appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'm gonna ask you guys. So B-Dot, you got either Peter Ward, which amazing career, Reggie Bush, and you said who was the third one you said?
Barry Sanders.
As kind of as the greatest college football player ever. I'm gonna turn it on you two guys. Greatest college football player. You can name multiple guys.
Let me add Bo Jackson too. My fault. Let me add Bo too.
Loso, greatest college football. Do I have to put a non-Florida Gator disclaimer on you?
Nah, because it's just gonna be Tebow, which I'm not.
I do think that Tebow has the case of being the greatest college in that conversation with the dudes, bro.
He's not even the greatest college running quarterback.
Yeah, man, exactly.
True that.
Tommy Frazier threw the ball better than him and ran the ball better. Tommy Frazier is a bad man.
That's an absolute fact.
Peyton Manning never beat the Florida Gators, bro.
I don't know why I wouldn't put Peyton Manning in the top 5, and I'm a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, because no one would. But there are people who make the argument, and I'm just saying for Tebow, Ward, you can't answer this because obviously you have a bias against them. But when you look at Tebow's career, it's hard not to put him in that category.
I think he deserves
in that conversation.
Yeah, I think he deserves to be in the conversation. Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to turn this into a debate Loso thing, but I'll just say this much. The Florida Gators were in the national championship the year before Tebow with the same system, and Chris Leak did the same exact things through the same before he was even really an active part of that system.
He was active in that system.
He was not. Did the same through the same slant passes to the same Percy Harvins and the same jump passes. And Tebow just came in, and Urban Meyer. You see what Urban Meyer can do with quarterbacks, and he's
fact.
So I'm going to defend Tebow. I don't think Chris Leak was good. I think Tebow took it to another level. I'm going to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think 40 pounds
we can
heavier.
Chris Leak.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, when I was thinking about that question, like I agree. Like Barry Sanders is up there. First of all, I'm going to give a couple of Midwest honorable mentions to Darren Sproles. I'm going to give a Midwest honorable mention to Michael Bishop, who I thought would actually be something in the league. He was a beast. Michael Vick, man.
Yeah. Michael Vick.
Vick. Oh, my God. Like, just thinking about that national title game, like, it was basically Vick and the Vickettes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And for about 2.5 quarters, he made you actually believe that he could take on a stacked Florida State team and win the title. So, Reggie Bush is definitely up there for me. Vic is up there for me. Barry Sanders. Again, my favorite Barry Sanders story from college is Barry Switzer telling his Oklahoma team, whatever you do, don't hurt Thurman Thomas, because he didn't want to see Barry Sanders get into the game. So, like,
that's crazy.
Like that to me sums up Barry Sanders playing a college football career right there, yo. So
that's
we're live on.
Nobody said Vince Young.
No, sir.
I'm not a big Vince Young fan, but does he deserve to be mentioned?
No, because he really only cooked for like that 1 year.
That one year.
That 1 year, like his junior year was really, that was the highlight. It's like Cam Newton. Cam Newton, because of issues, but Cam Newton only shined for 1 year.
Oh, bro, Cam was a bad man, bro.
He was.
Cam put up one of the greatest individual seasons ever. Like, and
that's
a fact.
If Cam Newton would have played in the Pac-10, his stats would have been doubled.
I can see. No.
That's a Loso thing right there.
I could dig that one. I could actually dig that one. I could dig it.
No, that's funny though. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Tommy Frazier deserves to be mentioned.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, man, I don't know, man. It's probably a solid 7 or 8 that could always be considered the top. Talking about play. We talk about players, so
Okay.
With player comes with being dynamic and being
Reggie White.
Well, Reggie White is obviously probably the greatest Tennessee player of all time. But I don't know that you would put him as the greatest college football player of all time. I don't know that he did what he needed to do in college to be put there. But yeah.
All right, cool. So we're live right now. It's a black and white thing. We got Beat Out the Guy in the building talking sports and battle rap. We shout out to everybody in the comments. Anthony Elmore said the 2-on-2 battle can't be touched. The joint was out of this world. Greatly appreciate you guys' gift that blesses us. So shout out to you. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you guys for your 2-on-2.
No doubt. Classic right there.
So, and if we get time, we might touch that a little bit. But I want to jump into, in your estimation, B-Dot, like what makes a great running back?
Well, it depends on the type. But I personally, that's hard to say. I was going to say something I probably didn't mean. I was going to say I personally prefer scat backs. But then again, one of my favorite running backs is Walter Payton, and he's a bruiser. I mean, I don't know. I think in this day and age, obviously with these advanced offensive systems that's based off RPOs and, having versatile type of running backs, I think that you would need a scat back to be. I think all the teams that pretty much, are good these days are looking for scat backs and quick running backs. So I would say somebody that's quick, man, quick in and out, quick feet, still strong enough and sturdy enough to pass block if need be, and then also versatile enough to line up at slot or even wide out and run routes, man, and catch balls too. Pause. But I would definitely say somebody like that. I would say is what majority of teams are looking for nowadays. You don't really see too many bruiser backs anymore, at least not in the NFL.
I was going to touch on that, like as we were talking about Reggie Bush and why he didn't, like I think Reggie Bush now, like how Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, how some of these guys are being used now.
Yeah,
I think he was just a little before his time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like,
that's a good point.
In when he came in, you know what I mean? Because you had the Adrian Petersons and you had, certain guys, and they were trying to. I mean, everybody knows the NFL is a copycat league, so everybody was kind of looking for that,
That's
and
a
then.
fact.
But yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing is he went to the Saints, and now you got Kamara, who Reggie Bush is probably like, dog, why couldn't we have done this when I was there?
That's a
you know
fact.
what I mean?
That's
so,
a fact, bro.
So yeah, but no, that's good. Yeah.
All right, so we got a question from YouTube, but I'm gonna get y'all. I'm gonna add a caveat to it though. So, question from YouTube: college career only, Herschel Walker or Ricky Williams?
Ooh, that's a
Ricky Williams was a bad man.
I'm gonna go with Ricky. That is tough, but I'm gonna go with Ricky.
Loso?
I mean, I would have said Herschel. I want to know why we're saying Ricky over Herschel. I mean, because Herschel Walker is one of those dudes that gets thrown into the conversation for greatest of all time too. So
yeah. So does Ricky.
Man,
Ricky Williams in college, bro. His college.
I'm kind of biased because I literally sat down and watched Ricky Williams, play football. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I just seen the highlights of Herschel Walker like running over Bill Bates in a Tennessee uniform, like 4,000 times. You know what I mean? And like that was my extent of Herschel Walker, and I was like, I'm never watching any of this old football, games or whatever. So, but yeah, that's a good one. And Ricky was holding off Cedric Benson, right, the whole time. Like, and you're talking Cedric Benson, rest in peace. Cedric Benson just passed away.
He passed.
So we're talking Cedric Benson, another great running back, and couldn't see the field, because Ricky Williams was that guy.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah,
Ricky that's a tough one.
I'm gonna go Herschel. I'll take Herschel. Probably should have won the Heisman. I think his freshman year, he was that nice with it. So I'm gonna go Herschel Walker. So speaking of running backs, let's jump to the NFL real quick. All right, so Dalvin Cook, Loso, we going to your territory. We coming to Viking country. Hey, Loso, you there? Can you hear us? All right, so we going to Viking country. So Dalvin Cook is reportedly seeking to hold out until he can get a reasonable deal from the Vikings, right? He's in that territory where he can earn a contract extension. He wants a new deal. And so I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to give you the top 5 running back salaries by year. And you tell me, based on that, what is a reasonable yearly amount that Dalvin Cook should be making, all right? So Christian McCaffrey is the highest earning running back in the league. He makes $16 million a year.
That's crazy.
Ezekiel Elliott, second, earning $15 million. Le'Veon Bell is at 13.1. David Johnson, 13 flat. And Derrick Henry rounds out the top 5, $10 million a year. He's on the franchise tag right now, looking to work out a long-term deal with the Titans. So you got 16 mil at the top end, 10 mil on the bottom, at that bottom floor. Loso, this is your territory, so I'm gonna come to you first. What is a reasonable deal for Dalvin Cook?
I think Dalvin Cook, considering the circumstance, I think 10 to 12 million. Dalvin Cook, 10 to 12 million. I feel like don't get me wrong. I think he's better than Christian McCaffrey. I think Dalvin Cook is the best running back in the league. So I mean, that's just my opinion. But I do think though, because his backup is averaging 4.6 yards a carry. I do think because he has some injuries, he was injured last year. You know what I'm saying? He only played 13 games. I do think, and obviously the year before that he was injured too. I do think that they're nervous to give him a second contract. And even look at some other running backs like Todd Gurley, bro. They broke the bank for Todd Gurley. He didn't even finish his second contract out with Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it doesn't – like, his peers went through some things that I know the organization in Minnesota are looking like, do we want to go ahead and do this? Like, we could probably go ahead and still win 11, 12 games if we just went Matheson and Boone in Minnesota. But I don't think that. I think Kirk Cousins definitely needs Cook, especially with Stephon Diggs out. I think Cook deserves all the money, but a reasonable price to sign should be 10 to 12 million.
All right, Ward, what you think?
Yeah, okay. No offense to you, B. Dot. But running backs don't win you Super Bowls. Running back, I mean, it's a running back by committee league. You know what I mean? The Chiefs just won a Super Bowl with, Damian Williams, and had LaShawn McCoy play some games leading. The Patriots continue to win Super Bowls, without that guy or whatever. So, Christian McCaffrey got his bread, and it's likely because really the Panthers, I mean, they don't have anybody else. You know what I mean? Like they really don't have anybody else. I also think to myself, like, this would be Kareem Hunt's contract year too. Like, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that he's not with the Chiefs anymore, and we're not having to figure out how we're going to move money around to keep Kareem Hunt around too. You know what I mean? But like, I guess it just depends on what the Vikings want to do. Like, how they want to build, a team to. I mean, they continually get to close to the NFC title game. They're trying to get to that next level or whatever. And I just don't know if paying Dalvin Cook money like over, $12 million a year is gonna get them there. So like, I'm kind of on the low side. I'm saying anywhere from like 9 to 11, something like that, 9 to 11 million a year. I just don't. But I'm not sold on Dalvin Cook either with the injury issues and stuff. I think the Saints played it perfectly. Like, the Saints have shown Alvin Kamara, we are not going to use you. Like, we have Mark Ingram. We got Latavius Murray. We have, and I think the Saints are going to be able to get Kamara for like 13, and I think Kamara is a little bit better than Dalvin Cook. So.
All right, bet. So I'm going to keep mine short and to the point. Then the B-Dot, I'll get your thoughts. Actually, you know what? B-Dot, I'll let you go first and I'll go last.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with Ward, man. I think that running backs are kind of like, in and out. They have a short lifespan in the NFL anyways. So to really commit to a running back and give him that type of money, if you're not basing your offense around him, or if he's not a real like high percentage part of your offense, man, I don't know, man. I think Dalvin Cook is amazing. I think he's awesome. But like you said, man, you see examples of teams winning without prominent running backs. You see it with the Chiefs. So I would say he's anywhere between like, yeah, man. I agree with Ward, like 9 to 11, I would say.
All right, so
that's what I feel like he's worth. I don't know what he'll get. I don't know Miami, like what, they could be, just like, we got to keep him here. So, you never know what's I done seen some girls and I was like, and some dudes went to far lengths to hold on to him.
Right, right.
And I'm like, I don't know what she does for, all right, she must do something for you that I don't know. So, we might see something like that.
I was watching this sports show and they were saying that the running back is the 10th most valuable position. Right?
What?
It's the 10th most valuable position on a football team. So the only thing that's less valuable is a safety.
That's no. What do you mean the only thing? Well, there's 22 positions. I mean, well, no. So what do you wear? How many positions? Because I guess you got 2 defensive tackles.
Well,
two
yeah,
defensive ends.
you got the defense. So I'm guessing. So when they were going through, so when they were going through the list, they were basically.
It's gonna be like quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive back.
They said they made this statement. It's better for a team to have the best tight end in the league than for them to have the best running back. The best tight end means more to a team.
I don't know if I believe that. Yeah.
Nah.
No, I don't know if I believe that.
And if you look at the last couple of Super Bowls, they were making a statement. They were like,
well, Gronkowski.
Best, right? You have Kelsey.
Hurts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they were always tight end.
Yeah.
So I want to address that real quick. We got to stop doing this thing where we call football a team sport, but then start singling out individual positions that don't win Super Bowls and saying that position is irrelevant and you don't need greatness at that position. Like me and Loso talked about this briefly early in the week. Like if you put Dalvin Cook on the Chiefs, the likelihood that they win the Super Bowl increases just by that much more because you have to now pay attention to their running game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs literally lost games because of their inability to use ball control to kill the clock at the end of the game.
Not very many though, right?
I mean, but still, I mean, they only lost 4 games, but they probably would have been 14-2 like the Ravens had they been able to kill the clock. Or games that they should have put away became tighter contests because they could not run the ball to close the game. So all I'm saying is this. Yes, I'm not saying you should draft a running back in the top 10. I think Dalvin Cook should make anywhere from 11 to 13 because of the injury thing. You can't pay him top dollar at the top end of that market because he hasn't been healthy. But you do have to, in my estimation, you do have to reward him for the work he's put in, right? Like he's earned, in my opinion, that 11 to 13 mark. So, I mean, that's just my take on it, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments. Shout out to people who are dissing the Vikings. Vikings are trash. Depends on your running back. Yo, Aaron Pinkman, he asked a question about the Patriots. We will address that next week. So come back next week. We'll address that comment or that question you have about the Patriots. But yo, I want to shift gears here and jump to the music side of things. Because again, I think B-Dot, you referenced that I think I saw Hip Hop Is Real. You started rapping as early as 6. You started making music as early as 13.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I want to jump to the music side because you're multifaceted, right? You have a lot. You're a talented brother. So I want to jump into the album.
Okay.
Coming Forth by Day.
Right.
Was released last year. And so I just want to start. Now, I did some Googling because I thought that was an interesting title. And I think I might have found where the inspiration for that. But I want to ask you, why the name Coming Forth by Day?
So Coming Forth by Day is a translation of one of the first spiritual text, the first spiritual text in human history, which is the Per Em Heru, which is comes out of the spiritual system out of ancient Kemet, aka Egypt. And it basically the phrase itself, coming forth by day, just means to come into enlightenment or come into righteousness in a sense. So I thought it was a dope title. I mean, just because it sounds dope, and also just because I kind of felt like it kind of reflected my journey, like my personal journey, like, coming from a gang culture type of background, and then me being like conscious now. I just thought it made sense to my overall growth, and it obviously reflects Malcolm. It obviously reflects where I'm at spiritually, as far as how I practice African spirituality too. So I thought it just worked kind of with my whole deal.
That's what's up. So if
wait, A1, were you right? I mean, you ain't just gonna tell us. You ain't just gonna tell us that you Googled all day and think that you know why he named his album that, and then he gonna tell you over here has some. That's probably what they slap on the Oregon State thing when they go out into the field, or something like that.
No, I think I might have been on the right path. So I have to go back. I don't have it up in front of me, but I do think I saw that. Hold on. So what I Googled said, Coming Forth by Day, the Egyptian text according to Theban recension hieroglyph. It was like a book or something that I, when I Googled it, was what pulled up.
Okay.
So like that's
You're on
why
the right track.
Given the comedic background, I thought that made sense. So that was my idea, right?
Okay.
So,
cool.
Right.
So okay, so let's jump into this next topic. So if someone has never heard your music, describe for someone who's never heard of you or heard of your music, what the B-Dot sound is?
Sonically?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's hard to say because I work with so many different producers and I try to create so much, variety in my artistry. So that's hard to say as far as what the sound is. I would say my last project sounds very New York boom bap type of, rap, because the producer I chose to sit down with and make that whole EP with, he's originally from New York, out of Charlotte. So he's an East Coast cat, so it's real sample based, real just drum, snare, boom bap type of sound. So that's what that project sounds like. My album that I'm working on is, I would say, a lot more musical, a lot of instrumentation, not just sample based. But that particular project, Coming Forth by Day, I would say it's real New Yorkish, real like boom bap, like 80s, 90s boom bap-ish with the samples and stuff.
Dope. So you mentioned the producer J.R. Swift, right?
J.R. Swift, yep.
So what was it about him that made you want to make this record exclusively with him?
You know what? To be quite honest, our personal relationship that we built, he was just a fan of my battles. He reached out. This is a long time ago, 2015 maybe, and we built a rapport over the time, like just talking on the phone, man. Just talking about relationship stuff with our women, just life, man. We just became good friends, and he would always send me beats. I never would really get to them, just out of me just probably being lazy or something. But over time, I'll just hit him one day. I was like, yo, let's do a project, man. You know, because these other producers, man, every producer I'm trying to deal with, they trying to charge me an arm and a leg, but you know, I rap with your stuff. So let's just sit down and do a project together, man, and we'll just 50-50 it. We'll split it straight down the middle. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm with that 100%. So yeah, we just kind of happened like that, kind of organically. After that conversation, we just start sending each other stuff. I send him ideas of songs that I want sampled or whatnot, and then he'll come back with the sample and the track, and he's amazing, bro. He works really tightly with the Griselda camp, Benny the Butcher, and those guys. So he's getting love. He did some track that he did. Jim Jones and somebody else rapped on it. So he's getting love. He's finally getting his just due, man. He's a phenomenal producer.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to the homie Cobbins. He said the album is fire. It is a very dope project. Ashe is one of my favorites. So I want to ask this question to the room, and I'll start with B-Dot. If you could work with one producer for a record, dead or alive, you got a project you want to put out, and you have your pick of producers, who would it be?
That is such a hard one, man. Jeez. I want to split this answer up in two because for regional reasons, because I'm from the West.
Right.
Damn. But if I had to choose just one producer, I'd say Q-Tip. I say Q-Tip. I think Q-Tip has the experience, like the old school vibe, and I think he would understand my substance and my material, and I think he would be able to produce around, you know, the message I'm trying to give and still make it like applicable and digestible for everybody. So I think Q-Tip would understand me as an artist, so I'll say Q-Tip.
That's what's up. Now, Ward, you are the least rapper brother in this chat right now. In terms of on record.
Yeah.
But who would you, if you had the opportunity, who would you work with?
It's gonna be Dre or Timberland, probably one of those two. Whoever, because my rapping is not exquisite, so somebody else gotta sell the song. You know what I mean? So I need somebody else's name on that joint. So wait, who produced this? Oh, okay. One of these days, though.
All right, Loso, who you got? One producer for an album.
And I want to say Pharrell. That's probably my favorite just all around. But I guess if it was just today though, I mean, I would lean to a, like if I had to, like if it was like today, right now, I would say 40.
Who?
40?
Yeah.
Oh, 40. OVO 40. Okay.
You know what? Low key, like, and I don't. I mean, because
get your Drake on. I feel you.
I don't want to. We don't agree with a lot of, but Kanye is probably. I like. No, yo, that dude can produce, man.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely.
It'd be
Kanye
difficult for me to like
what,
not.
man.
Yeah, golly, that dude, incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, Loso,
Yeah, Kanye's still special. Man.
I feel like that Pharrell pick suits you with that Instagram model ministry you got going on. Like, I feel like that's a fitting selection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Featuring Chris Brown. Loso featuring Chris Brown, produced by Pharrell.
For sure.
So I want to ask a couple of questions based on the album, and then we'll jump into the battle with Saga a little bit to close out. So I want to start here with Ra, right? So Ra is, and correct me if I get anything wrong because I don't want to misrepresent. Ra is a conversation between you and Kendrick.
Yeah.
So it's a conversation between you and Kendrick. Kendrick's coming from like a Black Hebrew Israelite perspective. You're coming from a Kemet perspective. Right. So I want to use that song as a jump off point to just simply ask, like, what was it about Kemetic orthodoxy or ideology that appealed to you?
Well, you know, first and foremost, just when I actually came to the conclusion that, you know, because Black folks, we're not told too much about our African history. So when I came to the conclusion that, oh wow, that was actually us that built these great monuments, that had this great civilization, I just fell in love with that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? And even so, presently, I've grown from that. I wouldn't even call myself a practitioner of Kemetic science. I would call myself a Pan-Africanist who represents for all the spiritual systems on the continent. But I'm more so West African Yoruba. I practice Yoruba more so than I do Kemetic science. But at that time, when I first became quote unquote woke, whatever you want to call it, I just fell in love with the fact that we did such great things. Like, I just couldn't believe that, you know, because you're not told these things. You're not given any value of yourself that predates slavery. So I just fell in love with the whole concept, the whole idea. I love the concept of balance. Their spiritual system is really about balance. All of their deities, their whole pantheon has a female and male principle to it. It just, I don't know, it just hit home for me, man. I just fell in love with that whole aspect of it, to be honest with you.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I want to jump to Split.
Yeah.
You know, this was another song that was one of my favorites of mine as well. And in the song,
thank you, bro. It's like the least favorite of everyone, but it's like it's one of my favorites, but like least favorite of everyone else. So I appreciate you saying that, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Split. I mean, you talk about, and you use this word. You talk about the duality, right?
Yes.
You have a conscious side, but then you have, you know, your gang side and your roots that you come from.
Right.
So I just want you to kind of, and this is an angle that people take on you all the time in battles, right? It's always, how you gonna be a conscious gangster? So I guess I just want to hear from your thoughts, like, about that duality, right? Like how, and forgive me if this question is not phrased well. Like, I've been thinking about this now for 2 days.
No, I get it.
But I mean, just expound a bit on this duality of the conscious, of
Malcolm,
the
get up. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, can you expound on the duality of this conscious and gangster nature that I guess exists within you? Sorry.
Okay. No, I got you. Yeah. So I mean, I think the misconception is often that I'm saying that because I still represent my gang culture, that I'm ignorantly active in gang activity. You know what I'm saying? I think anytime someone hears me say Pyru or performing Pyru, whoop-de-whoop, they automatically, hey, come on, guys. They automatically think, oh, that means he's killing people, or he's destroying his community, and yada, yada, yada. And so I would just say, I mean, I think that's a misconception and a lack of understanding of the urban environment in general, and just how we grow up in gang culture. For one, most Black kids gangbang out of a sense of camaraderie and family. So I just grew up just thinking this is what it is. Like, my father so what happened to me is that my father had his own record label, and he had a studio in our house. So then all the rappers from the hood that wanted to rap, they came to my house. So I'm 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and all I see is red rags and, you know, ponytails, and, you know, the gangsters like, hey, get up, man. My kids, man.
Hey, I understand.
Y'all can hear me. You guys can hear me though.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Good.
So yeah, man, that's all I saw growing up. So, you know, I just got involved on that level. But when I became conscious or woke or whatever you want to call it, you know, that's still a part of my environment. Like, all my friends that I speak to on a day-to-day basis, when they call my phone, it's still, "What's up, blood?" And then I answer, "What's up, King?" or "What's up, God?" Or, you know, words of endearment, of encouragement that I try to give them. And sometimes they reply the same way or call me in the same fashion. But, you know, this is our culture, and this is how we grew up out here. And, you know, it kind of is what it is. So anytime that I mention that in a battle, or when people use it on me in a battle, I just think it's a misconception of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm an active gang member. I'm not saying that I'm out here outside on the corner. Man, I'm 34 years old. I have 2 beautiful children. I'm the furthest away from anything that can put me in jail or have me hurt someone, you know. But it is still a part of my environment and where I'm from, and it's the root. And honestly, you know, being in gang culture kind of taught me a lot of life lessons too that I could apply in positive ways, you know. So I just think it's a misconception, man. And I think life is about balance regardless, you know, and Not to say that balance is always between good and evil, but just a balance of internal balance of making what decision should I make today. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we all have laws and statutes like you guys have. As somebody that practices Yoruba and dabbles in comedic science, we have the 42 laws of Ma'at. You know what I'm saying? So we have rules that we supposed to abide by every day. And so I try to abide by those rules, but sometimes I might make poor decisions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about the duality in that record right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yo, so shout out to the comments. I want to say YouTube, somebody said your album is a cruise and a ride. Listen, you can hear the West Coast in it very smooth. Also, somebody asked, is it on Apple Music? It is on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. Go check it out. Go stream it. Go buy it if you like it, and then go stream it again.
Yeah. Before you go to the battle, though, I do want to say, man, I told B Dot this a few months ago, and A1, I was at B Harris's house, and he, how we always grilling out, kicking it, just watching UFC or something like that, and all of a sudden I just hear this music playing. I'm like, yo, that sounds just like my guy B Dot. He was like, what you know about B Dot, man? And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I know B Dot. He was like, how you know? I was like, he battles. He's like, he's a battle rapper? I'm like, yeah. He was like, nah. He was like, bro, I've been listening to this album. This album is crazy fire. And I know, like, from coming from a battle rap standpoint, like hearing like that somebody just knows you from just rapping or that's gotta be like one of the best compliments too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like and so I want to tell everybody that's listening right now that like this album, this project, what B Dot does musically, sonically, and puts like he is really, 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 really good. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
So please go out and check that out. I got people that, in circles of my life or whatever that are just listening to it because they stumbled upon it somehow. It's great music. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all go check that out. I know we jump into the battle, so I just wanted to get that out there and let people know,
Hey, I truly appreciate that, Ward, for real. It means a lot coming from you, bro. Thank you.
And yo, Loso had to jump off. He had another commitment. So we're coming to a close here talking with B Dot on It's a Black and White Thing. So I do want to jump into the battle real quick. And before we do that, not Loso, but Ward, I'm going to get your thoughts. Saga versus B Dot. What do you think? What were your thoughts on this battle, man?
Oh man, and it's so crazy because, and I promise to you, I did not hear Saga's material before the battle. Like I heard like a few little like excerpts, and he was like, I'm thinking about going this route, or I'm thinking about doing this, and so like the first 2 rounds, I didn't know, any of the material or anything like that. So like it was so refreshing sometimes watching it from just like a fan perspective and not, not already knowing all the material and knowing what punchline is coming. But another thing was dope. That was like, you didn't get all the tweets either because it wasn't like a live event. So like nobody's ruined it for me. I'm seeing in all of these lines, I'm seeing people already tell me, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, nothing like that, man. So it was a very rare situation where the battle drops. I don't know the material. I'm sitting down. I feel like it's 2012 again, and I'm watching a battle that I've been waiting on for years. I thought it was incredible, man. Like, in order to even nitpick that battle, like you will sound like a super hater. You know what I mean? Like I know you can always find something wrong or whatever, but like I didn't want to, because I could go in and say, well, I think Saga kind of like fumbled on the word suicide when he was getting ready to say, didn't that, you know what I mean? Or I could say like, I think, or something like, but it really was like, I felt like that, I felt like Saga got better, the entire battle. Like I felt like the first was probably, his least, second was better than the third was obviously a great round. I thought B Dot started off, the opener to his first round was just crazy. I mean, like when you're watching a battle in the opener, people are already kind of like 1-0. And that's not even to take away from like what Saga just did, but the way B Dot set it up, I thought it was just super, super dope. But yeah, man, it was an incredible battle. It was an incredible battle. And like I said, it's probably the battle. I don't really watch battles back. I don't even watch my own battles back, and I've watched that battle in its entirety probably 4 or 5 times now, and so, yeah, man, props to you, bro. Props to Saga for putting on, You
Thank
know,
you.
and I know as a battler, like that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we love when a battle, like when I battled Chef Trez, like after all the rebuttals and everything back and forth and how great it was, like I just wanted to shake his hand and be like, dog, you know, we
Thank
did
you.
it. Like, all
Right.
right, cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And so like everything just worked out great for the battle. So
Yeah, man. 100% agree with you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm gonna save my thoughts on it to the end because yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it and I'll share my thoughts on it at the end. So I want to start with you, Doc, and I want to ask. Let me see if I can find it. So I think you battled. So I'm gonna go back a little bit. You battled JC.
Yeah.
And then after the battle, you know, you two guys go back and forth on releasing ideas. And I feel like after that battle, you expressed some frustration with the battle rap fans not being quite receptive of you.
Right.
Now that you go away for a bit, you had the 2-on-2 against with Geechee, Marvin Quest, then you sit out most of the year. Then there's Oops, there's a 2-on-2, and then this battle.
Yeah.
And now it feel. I'll just ask this. I won't give my opinion, but do you feel that the perception and reception of you within the battle rap culture is changing that?
Yeah, man. Battle rap fans are very, you know, I don't want to say this disrespectfully, but you know, their perspectives are easy to mold. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only got to do like one thing really to shift the whole game. I think that my rapping ability has always been top tier, top notch. I think that I lack a level of interaction with the crowd and performance and this whole thing that certain guys have over me. But I've always contended that like just rapping ability, cadence, delivery, breath control, and structure, I've always thought that I'm like a top dude in that regard. So I knew sooner or later it was gonna hit, you know. Fortunately enough, or I should let me say unfortunately, a pandemic hit. And now we're in this phase of social distancing, which allowed for me to have a platform with no crowd, which makes you really listen for the substance and the connectivity from this bar to this bar, and why when it's no crowd to stop you, you kind of get a better view of the whole round that somebody put together, you know? So I think that works in my favor. And obviously my win over Rum Nitty, whether he was 100% or not, it's still a big victory in the battle rap culture. And I think that's just what did it, man. I think I pretty much rap how I always rap. I think I've gotten a tad bit better as far as like punching more, but just pure rapping ability, I feel like that's always been there. But I think, you know, the Rum Nitty battle, me winning that kind of just shifted the culture. And now the fans are like, okay, B-Dot is really one of them dudes. My bad, we were sleeping, you know? So.
That's what's up. Real quick, I got a couple more questions, and we'll close out the show.
Okay.
I want, if you can, talk a little bit about that second round, because that second round's got some complexity. You know, you start off with hey, there was a guy on my clip named Robert. You know, he was commentating on the game. You know, and Bob and the punch of Bob Costas, and then there's this rat, there's DNA. Just that particular piece right there, where it's just this incredible kind of, you start with one thought, you kind of take us around, but then you bring us back to that rat thought that you started at the very beginning. So I just, was that,
it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And that's why I like this platform that allows you to do things like this. So what I actually did right there is I just made like a juxtaposition between Saga, my idea, or this concept of Saga being disloyal to NWX, and then the idea of marrying a disloyal person, whether he's a rat or whether he just whatever, you know. I was just marrying the concept of being disloyal. And so I say, I mentioned a guy. It was a guy named Robert from my set. He commentated on the game. It was so much change. Bob Costas, and then I go on to say, and you're one of the same, Saga. That state of mind you're not mentally far from. So right there, I'm kind of comparing them. And so what I do is I go into the whole, I don't know if you want me to spit all the bars, but I go into the whole Ninja Turtle scheme, and I talked about how he joined Ward and Loso because he saw what they were doing. Yeah, he joined them because he saw what they was doing. But then I say, you remember how I mentioned that guy from the past named Robert that I mentioned from the past, bruh? Well, that's that punch that made you bob, as in double entendre on bobbing and weaving. And also that's that punch that made you like him. What's up, baby? Okay, it's right here. That's that punch that made you bob, but it landed and further expanded on when you weasel out of a situation, like leave the NWX, it's in relation to all of that rat stuff. So me calling you like a rat, to me, made sense if we're just talking about the topic of someone who's just disloyal. So I just love taking like little concepts like that and just weaving it, you know, and just making it, you know, something. Okay, you are destroying my interview, Malcolm. Jeez.
My favorite part is just, I'm gonna say my favorite part. Like I love the whole piece, you know, but obviously like some of them half shells and the ooze and like just the way because like it's easy for us sometimes to take these ideas and when we get to these smaller parts, we can layer them in ways people have said those lines before. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not a part of, so we can get lazy with our writing and we can say, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I did it against Danny Myers when I said like a holographic bar or whatever like that. I was just kind of like, you know, I know people, it's kind of like but like everything about the scheme was like a new play on words, you know, the half shells and the ooze and everything. Like it was just super, like everything was just so fresh. That's one of the reasons why I liked it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I was worried that I felt like the bars were strong enough, but I was worried that people would say, "Oh, Ninja Turtle bars, that's corny." You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
But I stuck to it though because I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
No. So last question for you, B-Dot, and I'll we'll go ahead and close her out. So you know, after the battle, great reception. You have a line in your first where you say, you know, you talk about Lux, right? Where you say, you know, since I want to bring Lux to the rooftop. Since y'all say I'm gonna copy him, I'm gonna knock off Loaded.
Yeah.
And I know there's been a lot of talk around that. So I want you to address those who say that you haven't, I don't want to say deserve, but they say you haven't done enough to earn a shot at Lux. What do you say to those who have that thought?
I would agree with that, you know, just from a fan's perspective. I get it. I mean, I agree with that. And quite honestly, me like taking shots at Lux, well, I'm doing two things. The first thing I'm doing when I do that is being strategic because I'm taking away all the coldest bars that he can say to me if we do meet. That's one. And for two, really, I get the comparisons, but I'm just like, man, at this point, man, you really got to give me my credit for what I'm doing. You know, it's one thing to sound like somebody, but he's not writing for me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, it's like, I feel like I come up with some of the dopest material pin wise. Hey, come on, jeez. I'm gonna drop y'all off at daycare when I got to do an interview. Boy. Hold on, man. I'm gonna answer. I want to.
Next time we have you on, we'll cash app you some of the daycare. But you know, you got to slide the daycare. You know what? We'll get you. We'll get your cash.
Yeah, take your time. Do what you got to do, bro.
No, I was just seeing if. Hey, Magi, baby. Here, mama. Here. Yeah. So, where's my thought at? What was I saying? My fault.
You were saying they don't like he doesn't write for you.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So it's like he doesn't write for me. So I guess that's the frustration. Like the frustration is like, you know, I keep getting this comparison, but it's like, what are you really saying? Like, yeah, you can say, oh, you sound like him, but are you trying to discredit my actual rapping ability and my pen work? You know, so that's the two reasons why I bring it up. But quite honestly, I'm not like arrogantly out here acting like, you know, oh, give me Lux, you know, that's crazy. You know, I get it. But I just say those things for those two reasons. Like, just in case we do meet, I'm going to take some sting off a couple of these punches that he may have. And also just out of frustration of wanting to be separated, you know, from him. Just based, you can still say I move like him, whatever, that's fine. But I'm just saying, listen to my pen and be like, yo, you have a great pen, bro. Loaded Lux is not writing for you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and you know what? I just want to speak to, you know, like the whole deserve a battle type thing. It's like, man, in these days in battle rap, there are very few matches that people are looking forward to because we're just regurgitating different cards with different matchups, and we're just doing it, you know, because we got to keep the momentum going. Now let's pair up such and 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 such. So if you're a supporter or a fan and your idea is that, oh, you have to go through this gauntlet of battling a bunch of people who you really don't want to battle just to get a check, or, people that, just to keep, an app rolling or to keep YouTube momentum or whatever, like, miss me with all of that. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, B-Dot is one of the best in the world. And Lux is obviously one of the greatest of all time. And nobody is going to be disappointed at all with that battle. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people in line stylistically that we really even want to see Loaded Lux battle. I'm not trying to see Loaded Lux battle T-Top, but hey, T-Top's probably more deserving of a battle than B-Dot. You know what I mean? So like, so whatever they say that, oh, you don't deserve Lux, is like, yo, then who do you want to see him battle? Because I don't want to see him battle JC either, honestly. Like, I would rather see him battle, B-Dot, or I would rather see him, battle even shoot. Now that I think about it, the list is kind of short, But so that whole deserve thing, man, it just, y'all can kind of miss me with that, I'm getting to the point now where I kind of want to see Swamp and T-Top, and Swamp don't deserve that at all.
No, I agree, man. I agree. And just to piggyback one more thing off of that, I would also argue that if you're a Lux fan and you want to see Lux at his best, I think that I would bring the best out of him, because we have so much to discuss. I think with other pin guys, like, oh, we want to see Lux and Nitty, Lux and JC and other things like that. Maybe JC, because JC touches on some religious topics from time to time. But I don't think any of those guys would make Lux bring out his pin and his substance as much as I would. That's all I would say for that.
Yeah, we both know that. And not to, coming from a substance standpoint, or coming from standing for something bigger than battle rap or whatever, like, when you saw Ilmac, you saw like a different Ilmac. And I know Ilmac probably loved crafting those rounds. I know that I did him a favor in a sense, because he's probably writing this stuff like, this is stuff I never would have thought of for anybody else. You know what I mean? Right. And so like, it really is like when they're battling people like myself, Dot, Loso, Saga, stuff like that, it takes you to a whole nother different pad, And
it gives them an opportunity to be great. Yeah.
I would think battlers would actually want to battle us more, just because it probably gets very, run-of-the-mill battling the same kind of battlers over and over.
Yep, I agree.
All right, dope. So one last comment. I'll make my comment. We'll close it out. The homie Cobbin said we can compare Kobe to Jordan, but they both played their own games, so we have to conclude that they were the two of the greatest, and that's it. I think the same can be said for B-Dot and Lux. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and shut it down. I want to give my quick thoughts on the battle. I said it on Twitter. This was a classic, instant classic.
ESPN had that instant classic channel. Like, like when the ESPN Classic, and sometimes the next week that game would be on that channel. And that's what this was.
Man, like, and I tried to score the battle and I couldn't. Like, after I got through, like, halfway through Dot's first, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this horn. I'm done. I'm just watching.
I scored it 30 for Saga, 0 for Dot every round. It's all about narrative. That's how
But nah, man, like this was a classic. This battle was poignant, it was timely, it was emotional. It had some of the best rapping I've seen in a battle in my life, or at least since I've been watching battle rap. And listen, URL, listen to me. This battle needs to be on YouTube. I understand you got an app. I understand you're running a business, but sometimes things are bigger than the dollar sign. This battle is bigger than the dollar sign for the app. You've already given it to the app subscribers. They've ranted and raved about it. I've seen several bloggers say it needs to be on YouTube. I've seen fans all across Twitter say it needs to be on YouTube. This is one for the books. It's one that's going to go down. When you talk about the history of battle rap, this battle will be mentioned. I get it. In the grand scheme, P, Chico, Smack, Beasley, I am nobody. But I paid my $8. Put the battle on YouTube, man. Yeah. Stop playing with me. Put the battle on YouTube. It deserves to be seen. And like I said, I think after my first viewing, all I did was hit you and Saga up and just said all caps, thank you. And I want to tell you directly, brother, thank you. Like, I am a fan.
Honored, bro.
I appreciate what you do. I appreciate what you bring to battle rap, what you bring to hip hop, period. I wish you nothing but much success. And hopefully we can get you and Lux on the roof. I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah,
here
'cause
for it. Whether you have taken,
I'm not battling him up there. Ain't no way. I need
Come
my
on, Ward.
I need my
Hey.
crowd, bro. I need my
Hey, that's
crowd,
what I'm
bro.
Hey, Ward, that's where I'm gonna be at, man, for a long
I need-
time, bro.
I need
so
my
you might as well
crowd.
come up.
Hey, I'm gonna come up the stairs with 50 people. I'm like, all right, I see you on the roof, but here's my crowd. Everybody
For
gather
sure.
around.
For sure.
Yo, listen, I'm the king of corny slogans, but I think you should come up with a shirt that says, "Is it the roof?
Is
It's
it
the roof?
Is it the roof?" It's a play on. Is it the shoes?
Is it the what?
It's the play on
okay.
Morris Blackman. Is it the roof?
I got you.
It's hilarious.
I
But
got you. That's
but
it.
B Dot, I thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Everyone in the comments, both Facebook, YouTube, I appreciate y'all joining us. Shout out to the homie Dre. Said thank you, Samurai. By the way, I'm gonna shout out my homie Dre. He said your Snowfall bar was one of his favorite bars of 2019 against Oops. So I want to
Which
shout
bar?
out the
Is it
Snowfall bar
Snowfall
you
bar?
used against Oops.
Oh, the Snowfall joint. Okay, yeah. Tell him thank you, man. Appreciate that. For real.
Yes, sir. So, B Dot, we appreciate you joining us. Again, if you don't have the app, I will shill for the app a little bit. Go get the app, watch the battle, even if it's just to watch that battle. Go support B Dot's music, coming forth by day on all streaming platforms. If you
Thank
like it, buy it, and then go stream it again on another site to help this young man put some money in his pockets.
Thank you. Honored, bro.
If you, I don't know if you still have your, I know you had like some hats. I don't know if you still got any merch, anything that you still selling.
No, I'm revamping that whole thing, man. So soon. It's pretty soon.
All right,
Yeah.
bet. So be on the lookout for that, man. As always, remember you can find every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching for Brains and Bars. You can find us on YouTube. This episode and many more just like it will be on YouTube. Search Brains and Bars there, and then Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Give us comments, give us feedback. Let us know how we can improve the show. We appreciate y'all, man. Until next thing, it's been a black
And white.
and white thing, man. We'll holler at y'all.
Deuces.